Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm just gonna wait a minute. It takes a minute to notify everybody. It is a beautiful day today, and I am always excited on Fridays because the weekend's coming. And for me, the weekend means a social media detox. It means time with the family, time away from work. So I get so excited when weekend rolls around, just strictly for that, just time away from online and just don't have to check my phone all the time. And then I get to focus on things that are enjoyable to me and that are de-stressing and that bring me joy so that I can keep my health in balance. So anyway, today I am answering your questions. So I wanted to do this at night. I feel like more people are online after work in the evening, but I am not available tonight. So I'm doing a live Q&A for you all now. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer, you can post them in the comments. I want to start by answering one question that I got from several clients this morning, and I thought it'd be a perfect time to address it here. I think it can benefit a lot of you. I think my lens might be like a little bit smudged because it's looking blurry, but anyway. Okay, so the question that I got, and first of all, actually, I hope you are all doing well and staying healthy and surviving and yeah, all the things. But the first question that I want to address is about a juice cleanse while you are already cleansing. So when I do protocols with clients, we do quite intense and deep drainage therapy and cellular cleansing and candida pathogen type cleansing as well. And so a lot of clients were asking, while they're on those types of strict protocols, are they able to juice cleanse to speed up the process? So a big thing that people want to do when doing a detox is to make it go faster, be more effective, get quicker results. Now, this can be a good thing to want. Obviously, it's something that I'm assuming almost everyone wants, but it's not always the best approach. Hey everyone. Hey, thanks for joining. If you guys have any questions, just post them in the comments here, and I'll get to everybody. But yeah, back to the question. So when you're cleansing, like, should you be going extremely intense? And my response to that is no. A juice cleanse on its own, without any supplements, is already really intense and rigorous. And the juice cleanse that I'm talking about is not a sugar cleanse with fruit. It's like a vegetable juice cleanse. It causes the body to release a lot of chemicals and toxins. It drains the liver. It can help clean cells. Juice cleanses are great. But if you're pairing that with a candida cleanse or some other type of cleanse or biotherapeutic drainage, you know what? I'm just going to clean the lens just 1 second. There we go. Okay. I think that's better now. So if you're doing that, you are putting your body under a lot of stress. Why? Because to cleanse and get those results, we need to give our body time to safely and healthily eliminate toxicity. Imagine if you had a huge house to build and somebody came to you and said, you have 2 days to do it. I am going to give you 50,000 tools, but you need to get it done in 2 days. At some point you'd say, all right, doesn't matter how many tools I have. I only have 2 hands. I cannot possibly build a house on my own in 2 days, even if I have the entire world of tools, right? So that's how our body is as well. You can throw as much tools, and by tools I mean diet, supplements, you name it, at the body. But if the body is only one body, it only can do so much so quickly. And so what will happen is, if you're on a juice cleanse while you're doing a candida cleanse, or you're trying to do a heavy metal cleanse while doing a candida cleanse, or something like that, you're just doing too much at once while doing saunas and everything else, your body will shut down. So it actually will get quite sick. It'll get overburdened and overwhelmed, and you will actually hinder your health and probably end up with a flare. And it will take a lot more time and effort to reverse that. So that was the first question I wanted to put here. I think I wanted to address this mainly because we are in a world where we want quick satisfaction or gratification. We want quick results. We're used to having things as soon as we want it. You want something, you buy it online and it shows up at your door that night or the next day. You have a symptom, you take a pill and the symptom's gone. We're used to quick results. So it's very normal, and I don't want to say normal, it's common for people to want faster results when trying to detoxify, but unfortunately it does not work that way. Holistic healing or holistic health is the one area where you are not in control. Your body is. So it doesn't matter what you try to do, your body is going to do what it wants and work at its own pace. You want to support it in a healthy way, but if you overburden it or stress it out, it's going to backfire. So that's the first question. All right, let me start with, I see questions coming in. So, how can I help my 10-year-old daughter with candida issues, bloating, gas, and constipation? So Sherry, I have a full candida cleanse protocol for kids on holisticspring.org. Let's see if I'm allowed to type in the comments. No. holisticspring.org. I'll link it down below at the end of this video, or you can just type in that URL and you can go and access that candida cleanse protocol. So it's really helpful because it'll give your child everything that they need to cleanse safely. So if you want that, you can head there. But essentially, you do want to do something similar to what you would do for an adult, where you're on antifungals, antivirals, binders, and then dietary changes, but you do it at less intensely for a child versus an adult. So for kids, instead of doing maybe, I don't know, like extreme low carb, you would still have some carbs in their diet, but you would switch the sources. Instead of rice, try buckwheat, things like that. So they're still getting starch because they do need the energy. They are very active, I'm assuming, and they're growing, they need to have that nutrition. So it's very similar to an adult cleanse, just less intense with the antifungals and all that too. But the full protocol is on holisticspring.org for whoever wants it, and it has liver drainage and all of that included for kids. In terms of constipation, Sherry, for your child, this is something that I also have info on the website there, but you're going to want to really look at their diet, what they're currently eating and their lifestyle, and then hone it in. So what that means is if your child is currently eating a pretty starchy diet or higher protein diet, but not enough soluble fiber like chia, flax, or psyllium husk every single day in a good enough amount, then you might want to up their fiber to make sure that they're getting enough to push everything through the colon. If they're having lots of fiber, but maybe only drinking 2 or 3 cups of water a day, then up their fluids. If they're doing great with diet and fluids, but they're pretty sedentary and they're not moving a lot or something like that, then you want to do exercise and movement to kind of help the colon. So you have to kind of look and take each child individually. If they're doing all those things and still having issues, you want to look at things like IBS, SIBO, potentially start transcutaneous vagal nerve stimulation depending on the child's age. So lots of things to do, and I have a lot more info on that on the website holisticspring.org. Helena, itchy scalp and dandruff, that anything to do with flaking on the scalp or flaking in the groin area, redness, itching in the groin area or armpits, any of those areas or around the mouth indicates major fungal overgrowth, usually. So you want to look at doing some type of pathogen cleanse. I have an ebook. It's a full protocol that includes liver and kidney drainage to make sure it's done safely with homeopathics and stuff. It's called the Seasonal Candida and Parasite Cleanse. It is on holisticspring.com. Click the ebooks tab and you can access it. I'll also link that down below after this video gets posted. But when I say a Candida and Parasite Cleanse, it's really an umbrella term for all dysbiosis or pathogens. So the remedies chosen will target fungus, mold, yeast, parasites, bacteria, and certain viruses as well. So it doesn't necessarily matter the exact strains that are out of balance in the gut. The point is if there are pathogens that should not be there, this cleanse will help eliminate that, and that should really help the scalp, the itching, flaking, dandruff, etc. So always think fungal when you see any redness, peeling, flaking around the mouth, itching in the groin, armpits, those areas, and scalp, and behind the ears as well. Okay, so in terms of, okay, actually, I'm just looking here. So Jay Tucker for gut health issues. So you always want to figure out exactly what your issue is. Say your concern is constipation, or say your concern is gas and bloating. You then want to do a protocol that's addressing that. Usually, when there's issues with the gut, for the most part, again, depending on what it is, there's usually dysbiosis present. So, too many bad pathogens, not enough good, which naturally happens over the course of our lives in our modern world. We eat a lot of sugar, we're taking antibiotics, we're super stressed. All of these things contribute to a killing off of good probiotics, and then, unfortunately, an overgrowth of the bad. So again, just similar to what I said to Helena, you want to look at doing a really good colon cleanse that involves a Candida parasite type cleanse. Again, that's an umbrella term. So do that, and then while you're doing that, you also want to, once you've cleared out the pathogens, you kind of want to follow my 3-step protocol, which is rid, repair, and replace. You start by ridding the body of, mainly the gut, of pathogens and toxins and potential parasites, etc. Once that's done, it can take anywhere from 2 to 6 months, sometimes longer, depending on the person and how overgrown you are. Once that's done, you then go to the repair phase, where you start repairing leaky gut. You heal leaky gut by sealing off the gut lining, by rebuilding up that mucosal layer in the gut. It's a really strong, healthy gut. Then you go to the replace phase, where you replace everything with, like, flooding your body with lots of good probiotics, multivitamins, minerals, nutrients. Just replace everything that you are now deficient in, including a high dose probiotic. I have a leaky gut protocol ebook. It is so affordable. It's probably the cheapest one you'll ever find, and it's in Canadian dollars, and it has really good information. It is part 2 to my seasonal Candida and parasite cleanse. So you can do both together to get full Candida cleansing and gut repair, and it follows that rid, repair, replace protocol. It's on holisticspring.com. Just click the ebooks tab, and you can access both ebooks there. In my opinion, they're beautiful protocols that include homeopathics, again, that liver kidney drainage, all of that. If there's like a serious issue, you might want to be working with a practitioner, but this is definitely a good starting point. Shar, what supplements would you recommend to support your immune system and reduce your chance of getting sick, even if exposed to something? So one thing I want to start off by saying is, don't fear getting sick. Obviously, all of us don't want to. And even myself, if I have like something big coming up, I'm like, I cannot get sick right now. So I understand not wanting to get sick. But that being said, you don't want to fear getting sick, because it educates your immune system, and it keeps your immune system smart and on top of things. So if you do get sick, that's your body educating your immune system. But what can we take? So we want to support our innate immune system and our Th1 immune cells. Both of these parts of the immune system scan the body continuously for viruses, pathogens, and anything that can, and toxins and cancer cells as well, but mainly viruses and pathogens and things that can make us sick, give us a cold or a flu, including COVID. So what you want to do is support those. You can support that side of the immune system with things like berberine, N-acetylcysteine, vitamin C. Medicinal mushrooms are incredible for that. If you do not have an autoimmune or an autoinflammatory condition, you can also use things like echinacea or elderberry, although those do support more of the Th2 side of the immune system, just FYI. So you don't want to take it if you have autoimmune. And then aside from that, you want to do, like, you have to flood your body with nutrition. So the way your immune system fights off things is it collects all of the nutrition that it needs to multiply immune cells and get all hands on deck. Things like zinc and vitamins and other minerals. To get that, you need to be eating a very alkaline diet that is rich in dark green leafy vegetables that are ideally organic, so you're minimizing toxins. You want to eat this way because when you're having starches or sugar, it suppresses your immune system for 7 days. So if you go out right now and have a cookie, even if it's gluten-free, if there's sugar in it, your immune system gets suppressed for 7 days. So now if you came in contact with somebody within this time, you have a much higher chance of being susceptible to that person's viruses or pathogens that they're passing on to you, because your immune system is not as alert. So avoid sugars and really eat a very alkaline diet, full and rich of dark green leafy vegetables and healthy fats and protein, and a smaller amount of fruit from things like berries and grapefruit and lemon. And you should be good to go if you're taking things like the vitamin C, medicinal mushrooms, and everything else that I mentioned. All right, let's see the next question. Sarah G, how long does it take for most people to get better? It took you 3 years and you're an expert in these things. Would you say you were intensely healing for 3 years? I am still intensely healing. Everybody takes different amounts of time. You get results. It took me, I would say, like a long time to just see changes. And then after I saw changes, I wasn't where I needed to be. And I'm still not. I still have autoimmune. If I get super stressed or if I have too much sugar or too many foods that I'm sensitive to, I will flare up. I mean, I won't be in a full body rash, but I will start getting itching on my hands or things like that. So I'm still working. I still have anxiety, and I still have days where if I'm not taking care of my health, I don't feel well. So I would say I'm still on protocols. I'm still taking supplements, and it's something I do lifelong, and I encourage everyone to do lifelong. In terms of how long does it take, there's not really a timeline, and everyone's different. Everybody improves at a different rate. But even if you are seeing great improvement and you're feeling good, there are usually still things that still need to be corrected that require more time. It can take anywhere from months to years, depending on how severe your condition is, how inflamed you are, how out of balance you are. And then at the end of the day, even if after, say you spent 2 years, doing protocols, working on your health, feeling amazing, you still have to maintain that. If you completely go back to the way you used to live, and I have clients ask me this all the time, they'll come in with psoriasis, they're eating pizza, they're having burgers, they're drinking, they're, just leading a normal Canadian lifestyle, which unfortunately is not that healthy, or American lifestyle. And the first question I get asked is, how long do I need to be avoiding gluten, and when can I start going back to eating normal? I'm like, if you go back to eating normal and leading a normal lifestyle, and by normal I mean what you currently were doing or previously doing, you are going to get those issues back. You cannot ever really go back to the way things were. You need to change and pivot your lifestyle to be healthy and keeping your body in balance. If you go back to eating the pizzas and all of the burgers and drinking a lot and not sleeping well and not having tons of vegetables and whatever else you were doing previously, you are going to flare up again. And that's just, unfortunately, the way it works. Our body can only handle so much before it gets overburdened. So what I do with clients, what I'm doing with myself, my family, and what I recommend everybody else does is not focus on the timeline. Just keep going through protocols or doing, working on your health until you feel fantastic, but then don't stop there. Don't regress back to your previous life. Continue leading as healthy of a lifestyle as you possibly can for maintenance. And then seasonally, whether it's once a year, twice a year, or every season, you need to do maintenance cleanses. So for me and my family, we do 2 candida/parasite type cleanses a year. So usually at the end of winter, and then sometime end of summer, something like that, where we will, for about 4 weeks, eat really low carb, take natural antifungals, have lots of healthy foods, and just make sure that we're keeping our pathogens in our gut in balance and in check. If we don't do this, and anyone else as well, if you're not doing seasonal maintenance, you are going to get pathogenic overgrowth again, especially if you're reintroducing starches. If you don't do seasonal liver and kidney cleansing, which we do and I have my clients do, you're going to end up getting an overburdened liver and kidneys again, and which can lead back to you flaring up and kind of being back at square one again. So after I've worked with clients for a while, I kind of keep them on clients. I keep them on as clients for as long as they'd like, and we do yearly checkups or seasonal checkups where we will do seasonal cleanses for maintenance. Just similar to like an oil change in a car. Just because you filled up the car with oil again and you change the oil and it's running beautifully right now, it doesn't mean that you can run it the rest of your life and never do an oil change again, or you'll end up having really bad engine issues, right? So you have to always do maintenance. Every 8 months, you'll go and get that oil changed in your car to make sure your engine's running smoothly. So that's how our body is. It's not a one-time thing, then you're healed, you never have to do anything again. That is a completely false thought, or narrative, and you have to kind of think about our bodies as anything else that gets wear and tear. If you're really unhealthy, it'll take a big surge of energy at the beginning to get your body back on track. Once you're back on track, a seasonal maintenance, a cleanse here and there is enough to keep your body where you've put it, but provided you're still leading a healthy lifestyle overall. It's not to say you can never have a pizza or a burger or an alcoholic drink, but you cannot return to your previous way of living, or you'll end up putting yourself back to where you started. I hope that answers your question. I hope that makes sense. It's something that I just get asked so much about, so I really wanted to dive in deep on that, because I don't ever want people having this image that I have a health issue, I'm going to go do all this work, spend all this money, heal, which is not even really something that you're doing. You're really just rebalancing the body, but healing. And then I'm going to go back and forget everything I just did and go back to living normal and focusing on how long it's going to take to get to that healing. It doesn't even matter. It's about how you feel. Do you feel good? You'll get improvements as you go throughout. And then from there, you just want to maintain. So anyway, I'll end it there before I make this video super long on just that. Let me see here. Okay. Kidney stones, those are usually, well, it starts off with kidney toxicity, and which causes an overburdened kidney and an eliminatory system. So if you're getting stones, there's usually too much acid in the body, which is pulling out a ton of minerals, and then those are forming like mineral stones or clusters, or you're having toxicity clusters, which I call them, which is things like glyphosate and other chemicals that are building up in the system and causing blockages within the kidneys. The kidneys need to be flushed and drained to get everything out. And if there's a big overburden on the kidneys for many years, you're just going to have that buildup of those minerals or stones in the kidneys. The kidneys get overburdened by alcohol, by heavy metals, by smoking, by stress. They also get overburdened by poorly filtered water. They'll get overburdened if you're having food that's not organic, that has glyphosate sprayed or other toxins. They also get overburdened from hormonal imbalances, and the list goes on. So our kidneys are part of our primary emunctories. They drain everything. And if you're overburdening them from toxicity over a lifetime and then not doing anything to support them, they're naturally just not going to function properly. So things will kind of get stuck and build up, and that's kind of where stones essentially are coming from. You can have oxalate buildup, you can have too much calcium buildup. Usually if it's a mineral stone, it's coming from the fact that your body's so acidic that it's pulling minerals out of bones, and then that's causing a huge surge of minerals to just be sitting there within the kidneys or ureters or things like that. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, I guess, I didn't even answer the question fully about kidney stones. So what can you do? You want to do kidney drainage, but in the meantime, flushing yourself with like a lot of good filtered water, eating really healthy like dark green leafy vegetables. I think juicing is a great idea, like celery juice, Swiss chard, collard greens. Just juice a lot of those and drink those, and then you want to sip on things like broths, or like vegetable broths, bone broths, herbal teas with gelatin. That kind of stuff will give your kidneys a lot of fluid to dissolve and flush everything out. You could do like apple cider vinegar shots, but at the end of the day, you want to do actual kidney drainage and get your kidneys working better. Okay, Cloudy asks, what could it mean if you have dark under eyes that gets worse? So dark under eyes, it could either be kidneys. Most of the time it indicates poor kidney function. elimination, or it can indicate that you have food allergies or sensitivities. If there's puffiness, like if it's a bag under your eye that's kind of sticking out, like I have sunken in bags from not sleeping. That's different. But like if you have raised bags or elevated bags, kind of like a edema a bit or water retention, that's also a kidney symptom as well. So usually kidneys and or food allergies or sensitivities. All right. Tina Tin asks, what's the best medication for methane SIBO? So I don't do medication recommendations. You would have to see like a regular medical doctor to get medications. I use natural remedies, and it really comes down to the symptoms that you have. And biofilms. I have a whole video and so many articles going in depth about biofilms and SIBO on holisticspring.org platform. And I share different biofilm disruptors and which ones you would want to take depending on the pathogen that you have, and also, how to conquer SIBO effectively. But at the end of the day, you want to just start off with natural antifungals and try to avoid medications if you can, and like antibiotics, unless they're absolutely necessary. Okay, so yes, for those asking about the Seasonal Candida Cleanse ebook and Leaky Gut ebook, yes, they are on my main website, holisticspring.com. So you can go on holisticspring.com, click the ebooks tab, you'll see all of my ebooks, but mainly the Seasonal Candida Cleanse and the Leaky Gut books. The Leaky Gut goes after the Seasonal Candida Cleanse, so do the Candida Cleanse one first, then followed by the Leaky Gut. If it's not enough time and you're not getting as much of results, you can then repeat, and you can be on it for as long as you need. There are some guidelines in there on that. But that can be a good starting point, and that's on my main website. For information on biofilms, SIBO, Candida Cleanse for kids, etc., all of that info is on the other website, holisticspring.org. So I have a .com and a .org. The .com is my main website for ebooks. The .org is the membership platform where you can access all of that exclusive content. Okay. Let me see. So Sadia asks, can I have Greek yogurt, raw cheddar cheese, butter, organic, etc. If I have psoriasis? It doesn't seem to be affecting it negatively. You can do whatever you like, but personally, I would say no to dairy if you currently have visible psoriasis. So if you have autoimmune psoriasis, but there's no flare-ups, your skin is 100% cleared, like mine is currently, then you probably could tolerate some sort of some amount of organic dairy, as long as you're not lactose intolerant or have some kind of sensitivity. But if you are in a actual flare where there is something on your skin that's visible, I would be completely avoiding dairy, or it'll just hinder the clearing of the skin. So dairy, gluten, sugar, nightshades, those are the top most important foods to avoid to see clearing with psoriasis. And then from there, you want to eat as incredibly alkaline, organic, whole foods, natural as you can, and that will help with the skin clearing. Okay, is white rice bad? I don't want to say it's bad. I eat white rice sometimes. It's not that it's bad, but it is very starchy. And if you're not getting it from a good source, there's also usually high levels of arsenic, which is really hard on the kidneys and on the cells. So it's not that it's bad. It's something that just should not be eaten as often as it normally is. If you are going to want some kind of grain, the best, in my opinion, is a buckwheat or quinoa. They're much easier to digest. They're so high in fiber. They're amazing. So try to make swaps and then save the white rice as like a treat. Like if I go out to a Thai restaurant, which is one of my favorite cuisines, like we'll go for Thai or Indian food, we will have the white rice and we will enjoy it. It's not even organic or anything, but it's a once in a while. But at home, if I do make rice, it's going to be once in a while, and I'll use like an organic basmati, and then other than that, we're using buckwheat or quinoa or something else. So try to do that just so you're not having such starchy food all the time. When can I start giving my 1-year-old probiotics? So babies can get probiotics from the second that they are born. Some hospitals around the world will actually give babies probiotics the second they come out of mama. So it really depends, but you have to check with their doctor. And you want to start small. So don't start with a huge dose. You can start, if they've never been on a probiotic, start with like a few million, work up to a billion, and then from there you can work up to 5 billion, 10, 15, 20, etc. But they are perfectly safe. You have probiotics in you that would pass to your baby, so they're totally safe to take. Just check with your practitioner about dosing and that kind of stuff. Okay, let me go scroll through here. My daughter gets itchy when eating sugar. What does that mean? Oh, I love this question because it's so common. Itching when eating sugar usually indicates fungal or candida overgrowth, and she needs to cut that out and do some kind of candida and fungal cleanse before it turns into systemic overgrowth or turns into something that's a lot worse, like a bad skin condition or something like that. So cutting out sugar is so important. It also creates a lot of histamine. So she could have a sensitivity to sugar as well, where she's having some kind of IgG reaction. And then histamine is just aggravating her skin and she gets that itching. So cutting out sugar is important. Swapping it for something like stevia is a great idea, or yacon syrup. And then doing a candida type of cleanse for her would be a good idea. Margaret Reed, what are your thoughts on food combining to fix your gut issues? So I love food combining. I actually made a video on it. I have a blog post on it, going into quite a bit of detail. It's something that I also have my clients do as well, because if you have digestive issues, I mean, I don't personally food combine myself anymore, and I don't think it's something you need to do the rest of your life. But if you have a health issue or a skin condition or a digestive issue or anything that you feel like your digestion's off, you want to give your body a grace period, like a period of time to just calm down and not have to overwork. And when you're combining foods like a starch with a protein, where starch takes an hour to digest and protein takes up to 6, it can cause a lot of stress. So for periods of time, you want to food combine properly to spare your gut any more distress while you're working on improving your gut. But at the end of the day, my personal opinion, you should not have to food combine or even follow any sort of diet forever. The changes that you make to your diet should be temporary, and then once you're feeling better, then you should transition back into just a whole foods, natural, organic diet. If you need to be avoiding gluten and sugars, that's a good idea, but really everything else should be enjoyed. You have one life, so enjoy it. You don't have to food combine forever. It's something, again, that you should, in my opinion, just do until you're feeling like your digestion's back on track. So I hope that helps. Okay. Sorry guys, there's a lot of questions. I'm just scrolling through here. Someone's asking that, or saying that every time they take a probiotic, their skin breaks out with huge red pimples near the jaw. It's really painful. It happens with any probiotic. So if you're only taking a probiotic, you've never done a candida cleanse, or again, that's an umbrella term for any pathogen in the gut. You've never done liver kidney cleansing or anything else, and you just start taking probiotics, they will be kind of detoxing you a little bit, because probiotics' goal or function is to kind of clean everything up. So if they're going to be detoxing your colon a little bit and your liver and kidneys are overburdened, where the toxins have to be pushed out from another channel of elimination, which is usually the skin, it's a good idea to take probiotics, but with that, start at a lower dose and make sure that you're heavily doing liver and kidney drainage and some candida type of cleansing if necessary, just to make sure that you're cleaning out your colon, and having the toxins eliminate through the proper channels. Doing binders like chlorella or chlorophyll can help with that so much. They pull things out of your stool rather than allowing them to enter the bloodstream and be pushed out through the skin. So I would say add in binders, lower the probiotic dosage, and get on some liver and kidney support. Christina, I get itchy when I eat sugar and dairy and I get a rash on my face. That is the number one sign that you have dysbiosis in the gut, and also that you have a sensitivity to sugar. So definitely cut it out, any source of sugar, even natural, switch to stevia, and then start on some cleansing. Okay, is it okay to take ashwagandha for autoimmune? Yes, a lot of people like ashwagandha is, I think, technically a nightshade, so I know a lot of people are scared to take it, but it usually is totally fine. It's not the same type of nightshade that a tomato or pepper is, and I've seen ashwagandha work absolute wonders for people. That being said, you could do astragalus, which is great for autoimmune for most autoimmune because it's a Th2 down regulator, and it also helps with your inflammation levels and your adrenals and all of that. So that's another option. Or holy basil, rhodiola. There's definitely other options if you're stressed about ashwagandha. But ashwagandha is actually really good and should work for most people. All right. Any advice for ADD students? So I am not like a mental health worker, or I don't specialize in that area. So I would say talk to somebody who does, and they'll probably have some good tips. What I will say is don't do anything that's going to take a ton of focus, like hours of focus. Give your body those moments of focus and then something to kind of switch up your focus on for a bit. But supplement wise, always support the brain. You want to make sure that you're taking things to help support your brain. There's a supplement from Pure Encapsulations. It's called Focus Plus, and it helps kind of like release the right neurotransmitters to keep your brain balanced and your focus, I guess, a little bit longer. So Focus Plus from Pure Encapsulations. I also would suggest a really good DHA supplement. DHA helps build up brain cells. It helps reduce inflammation in the brain. A lot of times the issues with focusing is just that there's some inflammation. So a DHA is great. You can get cod liver oils that have a higher DHA to EPA ratio. And then I would say maybe medicinal mushrooms. Cordyceps and lion's mane are good ones to try to take to help with, again, that thinking and the brain function and focus. And I'm thinking what else I would suggest. Those are probably like the main ones, the Focus Plus, the mushrooms, the DHA. There's some homeopathics as well, but that depends on a lot of other factors. So I would start there and then talk to somebody who specializes in ADD and these types of conditions, or at least difficulty concentrating, and they might have a good tip that's not supplements to help with just ways to keep your focus. All right, so what are your top 5 tips or supplement suggestions on keeping parents older than 65 healthy during this current state of the world? That's a fun question. Number 1, cut out sugar and stick to an alkaline, organic, whole foods diet. That's huge. That's huge, huge, huge. I would say number 2, probably probiotics. Check with your practitioner to make sure it's appropriate, but probiotics can help keep your gut healthy, which is really important for just ensuring that you're going to have a healthy immune system. Number 3, I would say something to support your SIG-A levels. Your IgA is what's released. It's kind of like your first line of defense against initial pathogens that are coming out, like your mucous membranes and things like that. Sun butyrate can help support healthy SIG-A levels. You also could try things like medicinal mushrooms or N-acetylcysteine. So I would try something like that. I would say doing something that is really working on stress. A lot of people are just so stressed right now with what's going on in the world, not just COVID, but the unbelievable pain in, like the earthquake in Haiti, what's happening in Afghanistan, what's happening in Lebanon. There's just so much pain around the world right now. And I know older people tend to watch the news a lot, or read into the news, and it can be stressful. So doing stress techniques is so important to keep a healthy immune system and keep them from getting all this inflammation. So adaptogens like ashwagandha or astragalus, deep breathing, relaxation things like a warm bath, things like that. And then I would say melatonin. As we get older, our melatonin levels drop, and that is one of the biggest things that helps keep our Th1 immune system strong and healthy. So taking some melatonin at night could be a good idea. Even just like 1 to 3 milligrams around 8 or 9 p.m. can be helpful to have a good sleep, rest, regenerate, but also have a healthy immune system. So those would be my tips. There's so many more, but those are some starting ones. Always check with your practitioner before taking supplements though. Can I do a video on vagal nerve stimulation? So I have done one here on YouTube, and I have another in-depth one showing you exactly how to use it on my membership platform, holisticspring.org. Anyone can join and you can cancel at any time, but there's so much, thousands of hours of exclusive content and info I don't share anywhere else that's over there. Protocols, liver and kidney drainage, quizzes, forums to ask me any questions you want. There's so much info on there, blog posts, videos, so you can get that video. And I have a vagus nerve stimulation guide that's free on that platform as well. I have IBS. Can I use a plant-based mass gainer? It depends on what's in it. So what I see is a lot of plant-based proteins or things like that have a lot of gums thickeners, high in lectins. So if you have IBS, you don't want to be on gums thickeners or anything with like rice protein or anything like that. So check the ingredients because it could be irritating your gut and that could be causing some flare-ups. Nervinum vagum homeopathic is out of stock worldwide forever, unfortunately. The Unda was making a amazing homeopathic that was for the vagus nerve to stimulate the vagus nerve, and it was like last year I was letting everybody know on social media, stock up because once it's gone forever. Unfortunately, it's completely gone. So there's no way to find that one from Unda, the 4-CH liquid from Unda. All right, I'm going to sign off soon, but there are so many questions. I'm just scrolling through trying to get to everybody. Let me see. Sister Bianca, is it safe to detox while breastfeeding? If you do my type of cleansing, yes, because I do so much liver and kidney drainage that the toxins are eliminated through the liver and kidneys rather than being pushed out through breast milk. But if you do a standard detox where you're just taking a bunch of supplements or maybe doing like a juice cleanse, it might not be the best time. All right, I think I'm going to sign off, guys. This video is almost 45 minutes, so I've answered as many questions as I can. I do live Q&As twice every month exclusively for people on my membership platform, holisticspring.org. And you guys can ask me any questions and I give like 20-minute answers if I need to, like face-to-face. So if you guys have more urgent questions, you can head over there and join the platform. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day. I enjoyed talking to you all for a bit this afternoon. Thank you for joining. Enjoy your weekend and the last little bit of summer, and I will see you soon. Bye.